There we go. It did just hit 11:30, so we'll get started today. I'd like to welcome everybody back to Simple Invest 360 Education Week. My name is Daniel, and I am the Product Education Team Leader here at BGL. I'll be taking you through today's session, which is all about your contacts and your document management. Just quickly, before we do get started, we do have some housekeeping to attend to. Very quickly, I would like to explain that Simple Invest 360 is part of a number of software suite that is available here at BGL. We will be discussing CAS 360 a little bit later, as that does have an integration with the contacts in Simple Invest. So that is our corporate compliance software, as well as Smart Docs 360, the AI that's in there does get used when we do upload documents. So that's how they do interact with each other, just as a brief overview. And in terms of our housekeeping matters here, it is identical to the previous days. All participants here are on listen only mode. However, if you do have any questions during the session, please do press that Q&A button and send us through a question. I do have a number of colleagues here with me today, joining me from the product education team, as well as Stephen from the Simple Invest product team has graced us with his presence, so he'll be able to provide some expertise that only someone from the product team could. So if you do have any questions during the session, please feel free to send those through, and we'll have a section towards the end to answer those questions as well. In addition to that, all of the presentations for this week will be uploaded to the BGL YouTube channel, as well as attendees will receive a recording of these. If you did want a link for these are not currently uploaded, but will be in the coming weeks. I've just posted a link in the Zoom chat right now. That is the BGL YouTube channel. When it comes to your education week or many of our different webinars or events, all of those get uploaded to the BGL YouTube channel for free, and it's a great resource in case you wanted to watch back any of those presentations. So as I mentioned, we are at the end of Simple Invest 360 at Trading Week. I'd like to thank you very much for attending the previous sessions if you had, but today is all about contacts and document management. The agenda for today, as you can see, we do have four main topics to go through. Firstly is going to be about fixing duplicates. It's one of the functions that has been very so widely needed in Simple Invest 360. It allows us to collate our contacts into a singular contact, cleaning up your contact screen and maintaining the information that is held with those contacts. And we'll go through that process. Our second topic today is going to be BGL ID integration. As I did mention, there is an integration with CAS 360, the corporate compliance software, and it essentially will display the verification status as that's brought through. For those who might not be familiar with BGL ID, it is our client verification service that allows you to comply with various different AML, CTF requirements from Austrac that are coming in, and we'll get into that a little bit later. For the last parts of the webinar today, firstly, we'll be running through the document upload process, what functions are available to you, and what the best practice ways are for getting documents into your entities. And then finally, we'll be going through the splitting documents function. The splitting documents function is something that's fairly new and allows you to manage those document packs that might be sent to you. So there might be situations where clients will send you a large document pack, might be like 30, 40, 50 pages long, and you are hoping to split that up into individual documents. That's what we'll be going through today. So last session of the week, hopefully a short and sweet session as we get into it, and we'll jump straight into our first topic, which is going to be the fix duplicates function. There are two main things that the fix duplicate function is responsible for and is incredibly useful for. It's one of the things that I recommend. Firstly, it will consolidate your multiple contacts with identical names, bringing these into an individual contact. And then secondly, it will maintain your contact relationships with your companies, with your trusts, any entities you might have. If you also use Simple Fund 360, it can maintain your relationships with those as well if they're a member. The whole point is to keep those relationships, not disrupt anything with the contact as it exists currently, but just simply bring it into one individual contact. So let's get into the software and I'll show you exactly how that works. Here we are. We're in Simple Invest 360, as you can see. Hopefully you can see the screen right now. And we're going to go into our contacts and documents training trust here. We're not going to be using the actual entity too much. It's going to be a lot for demonstration purposes. I've set up some contacts here, as well as we'll run through some documents later. So, running through our first topic, which is going to be our fixed duplicates. This is managed on our contact screen. To get to there, we're heading to Settings in the bottom left, and then heading to Contacts here. What you might see is there might be a notification in the bottom left of your screen. It says, looks like you have duplicate contacts. Would you like to use the tool to merge them? You can press the option to do not remind me again, and that is completely fine because the fix duplicates button is also available in the top left as well. What this particular function will look at is it will look at the name of the contacts, as well as it can look at the address of the contacts. So there may be situations where you have identical names, but the addresses are different and you don't want to merge those contacts. This allows you to separate those two. So what you need to do is select what you would like to match by. In this case, we're going to go with name only. And it will display any duplicates where it sees the same name over multiple contacts. At the top here, you can see we have 3 contacts for John Jones. It's recognized all of these, as well as recognized the relationships and the information that is held within that contact. Scrolling down, you can see that there are 3 contacts in total. We have contact 1, contact 2, and contact 3. And these are the 3 we're going to be merging today. Starting with contact 1, what I'd like to demonstrate is the basic process. So we'll have a look at this first contact here. We can click info on this screen and that will open up an individual page showing us the first contact. You can see it has very little details. It does have an ABN and it has the address of 12 Shearlaw Avenue here. If we then tab over to the contact usage part of the top left, we can see the relationships this contact has. So where it is being used within the software. Currently, it is recorded as the auditor for Advanced Training Fund. It is recorded as the beneficiary of this particular trust, and it is recorded as well as the tax agent for another fund. It's a very common situation that you might have where one contact is used for multiple relationships over your software. To demonstrate this as well, what we'll do is we'll jump out, and if we jump into the beneficiaries screen for the contacts and documents training trust here, you could see that we have our contacts added. If we were to remove them from the screen, that would remove the relationship. Back on the contact screen, we can have a look at the other contact. So this is the duplicate that's here. Once again, we have some information that's available to us. In this case, there is no information, particularly for this contact. And in terms of the relationships, it only has one, and this relationship is being an auditor for another fund that we do have here. As a general rule, when it comes to fixing your duplicates and which one to keep, you generally want to keep the one with more relationships. As you can see, this one has 3 relationships. You want to keep generally the one with more relationships as it is much easier to enter information for a contact. However, in the situation where one has a significant amount of contact information, you may want to choose as well to keep the contact with more information there. This one is a bit of a no-brainer because the first contact has a lot of information, the second one does not. At the top one, we can select keep. It'll ask us to confirm the merge where we can click merge, and then that will bring that across. Remember, we did have that tax agent relationship for that duplicate contact we're merging right now. Otherwise, it didn't have any information. Do apologize, we have been having some difficulties with the fixed duplicate function. It has been taking a little bit more time than usual, so I do apologize for the delays and some of the errors we might be having on the training environment. But hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate that to reasonable effect. Let's refresh the screen. Might be having issues. I might just need to complete that one again, as it is a relatively new feature. What I think has happened is it's merged the relationship but hasn't merged the contact. that has been happening a little bit to begin with, some bugs that we need to work out. But what we can simply do is click the option to merge them once again and attempt to redo that. Hopefully that will go through that process. So what does this mean for you when it comes to the best practice? What we've typically found is that when you have multiple users using your software, you might have multiple people uh, inputting different data into your entities, logging on at different times, and there can commonly be situations where you will get contacts added when they're not needed. Someone will overlook the fact that there's a contact already added, or someone might end up simply importing one through one of our functions. We do have a import companies function that brings in data from Cas 360, so that can bring in duplicate data, which is what our find duplicates function intends to fix. So now we only have our one contact. That duplicate has been removed. And if we look at the details, we can see we have our contact info. And in terms of our relationship screen, hopefully we can show that the tax agent relationship is here. There it is. So we have 4 total relationships, and that one has been merged now. The next one we're going to be looking at is what happens when there is conflicting data or conflicting contact information. Jump back to the slide right now. So there are 2 main rules when it comes to the data that is being brought in, that is being merged. Firstly, if there is empty contact info, so if the contact you're trying to keep does not have information, then it will attempt to fill this data from the merged contacts, from those duplicates that are being merged in. If, however, there is filled contact info, so previously we did have the address and the ABN, then in this case, the duplicate contact info, or the info that is in your duplicate contacts, will be ignored and discarded. So it's very important to understand that in case there might be one piece of information from your contacts that you might need to bring over before merging them. So in contact 2, we'll have a quick look. We do have a correct email address, as it does mention, as well as a fake address. And if we look at the other contact, we do have a wrong email address hypothetically, and then a true address. So we do have 2 of these contacts. In this case, this top contact does have some relationships that are available. And in this case, we would want to keep this particular contact because we want to try to maintain those relationships as much as possible. What would you do in this situation? Well, because the data in the duplicate contact, if we go into fix duplicates and go to contact 2, this info here is about to be overridden. We're going to lose this address because there is an address in the main contact. What we can do instead is look at this information, go back to our main contact, make the minor adjustments as needed. So we're going to change this to True Street, I believe it was. There we go. Make a manual change to the address. What you'll find as well is after that's done, these will be recognized in the duplicate name and addresses contacts here. After you've made that change, you can click Keep on the required contact, and then that will merge those 2 together, keeping that relationship, and the only thing that will be discarded is the wrong email address being brought through. So currently there is not the functionality to pick and choose from all of the duplicate contacts that are coming in and to select particular pieces of information to be brought through. That is why some of that manual adjustment might be required. However, what you can also do is simply merge them and edit the contact after the fact as well. So we've now got our one contact merged here, contact 2, with the correct email address, correct street name, and correct usage here. Correct relationships there. In that particular case as well, if there were any relationships in that duplicate contact, those would have also been brought over as well. What happens if you get to the extreme case though? So this is our 3rd example we're going through. Our contact 3, you might have seen we do have, I believe, 7 of these contacts set up, and each of these have a different piece of information. So we do have our ABN here. For our second contact, we have a phone number. For our third contact, we have an address, so on and so forth. So each of these have a different piece of information. The idea is to demonstrate that we can combine all of these and bring them into one contact. Same thing again, we do have all of these contacts here, and one of them has a relationship. As a general rule, we want to keep that contact. If we click keep, it'll tell us we'd like to merge 7 of these contacts. And hopefully after we press this button, it will go through that process. As I did mention, if there is any information that is brought through that is already held within that contact you're trying to keep, that will be discarded. Another note on top of that is that if there is multiple sets of data, so your contact you're trying to keep does not have an address, for instance, and then 2 of your duplicate contacts have different addresses, it is only going to pull in one of those addresses into your contact. So there may be situations where you end up with one of those addresses brought in, another one of the address will be discarded, and it will require you just to double check and ensure those details are correct. So it is looking like it's having a bit of trouble consolidating those 7 duplicates. I know for a fact that our team is constantly working on this feature to improve it, and they're definitely aware of the fact that it can be taking a little bit longer currently. But as you can see, that has merged our contact into one. Having a look at our contact 3 now, it has a full set of data. Has a correct email address, phone number, TFN, ABN, date of birth, address. All of these have been merged into one, along with the middle name as well, as we've added there. So that is a brief overview of the fix duplicates function, how that is available to you, how that works, and how that can be beneficial to you. Why is this being implemented as well? This is being implemented for a reason, and one of those reasons includes BGL ID. So that is our second topic we'll quickly run through now. BGL ID, as I did previously explain, involves verifying your clients for either your KYC, AML, CTF, that being your knowing your clients, anti-money laundering, as well as your counter-terrorism financing. So those 3 are very common things that's used in the current ecosystem in finance currently, and what is being expected is that companies will have to keep track of their clients, will have to verify their clients, make sure they are legitimate clients through various processes, and BGL ID is one of those solutions to that. In terms of this integration, this is available in your software. If you head to the app switcher in the top right and head to your integrations, it's available on this screen here. You see you have CAS 360 practice management, which you can view. If you didn't have this enabled, going to this screen, you will be given the option to connect to CAS 360. From there, any of your contacts available in that software will be synced with the contacts in Simple Invest 360, which includes the BGL ID status. So currently BGL ID is only available to process client verifications within CAS 360, not in Simple Invest at the moment. However, the results will be transferred over to your contact screen and they will display here. That way you only need to verify your clients once. So that's something to look forward to in the future. And we are looking to implement BGL ID within Simple Invest. That way you can verify your clients from within the software here. So that is a very quick aside about BGL ID and how that can be useful for you. Now we'll get into the final topics today. Very quickly, we're going to go through the uploading documents function. Currently, we do have our SmartDocs email, which you can send documents to, as well as we do have a new QR code upload function that essentially aims to reduce the friction between your paper documents and your uploaded files to your computer. As well, we will be having a look at splitting documents. In this particular case, you'll be able to upload a document pack, split these pages, and then name and label each of these splits. That way they can be used within your software. So jumping back into the software right now, what I'll do is just show you a little bit where you can see that SmartDocs email. For those of you that are unaware of the SmartDocs email or what it can be used for, this is available on your dashboard. You can see here it says SmartDocs email. This one is contact and documents training, but that is unique to your entity. If you were to select this and send an email along with attachments for documents, that will be uploaded directly to your documents screen. So that is one way to get documents in. One of the biggest pain points we found is that when you have paper documents, it can be difficult to scan these and get these uploaded to the software. So to solve this, on our document screen, when you select upload here, you'll be given the option to scan your documents from phone. This gives you a QR code. What you would need to do is scan this QR code, take a picture of your particular document, and then that will be automatically uploaded to the software. This can be incredibly useful as maybe you've been given a large stack of paper documents that you are hoping to upload. I believe someone might have taken that QR code there. So I am carrying some issues as this is on the training environment. Hopefully no documents get uploaded here. But it can be incredibly useful if you're maybe in a client meeting and a client was to give you a document and you're hoping to get that uploaded to your screen immediately. Another option is that once again, you might receive a new client. They have a number of documents to give to you, and you sort of think, oh, I'm going to upload them later, but you might forget about them. This way, it sort of provides you with that incentive. It's an easy process to take a picture and upload those documents, so you hopefully forget less about your paper documents then. In terms of this, after we go through the upload function as well, I'll grab a random document here. You are given the option to categorize this immediately. That way you can either choose to add more documents, or you can immediately assign it to a particular code or chart of account, as well as adding a financial year. You can also add additional tags related to this particular document, stating what it is so you can search for it later. So that is the general upload processes. There are different ways to upload documents as well, but those would generally be associated with your creating transactions and making those in your entity, sorry. How about splitting documents? So splitting documents, another function that has been widely requested, and I'll show you exactly how to use that one now. Choose a file. We've got a dividend statement, a large pack of dividend statements available for us here. Once again, we can select the folder it's related to, we can input the date, and we can tag this as necessary if we add a relevant tag. And we can upload that there. Very quick note about tags as well. If one of the system tags wasn't appropriate, you can choose to add those by selecting the settings in the top right, and you can choose to search tags or create your own. So maybe you need one for dividends, choose that. You can choose to add that one, and then we can select our dividend statement and we can update the tags. Let's have a look at our document here. So it is a total of 5 dividends, as you can see, but all of them are being posted for different securities. How can we split these? That way we can attach them to individual transactions. If we select split document on the top left, it's going to analyze this particular document, so it might take some time. In this case, the coffee cup here is stating that the AI is analyzing and determining what type of document it is. Hopefully we'll give it a bit more time and it will complete. In the meantime, I'll upload another document that we'll use for a demonstration just after this one. I do have one that's here. I'll upload it again for us. So we're doing some testing earlier. Okay, so back to our dividend statements here. We'll click split documents in the top left. And now on the right side, you can see that SmartDocs has predicted how we would like to split this document. In this case, it's fairly simple because it's individual pages. But what we would expect is that you go through, have a look at the first split page, and we can say this is a BHP dividend. Scrolling further down, you can check the next one. This one is going to be a Fisher and Paykel dividend, and you can go down and rename each of these splits as necessary. In addition, if they are related to different accounts, you can select those classifications as well as the date as well. Once we're happy with those, all we'll need to do is click Split Document. And once we go back to the document screen and refresh that, we now have 5 brand new documents that have been uploaded, including those that we renamed, which is great. For these as well, what these can be used for, as I mentioned, is they can be uploaded to transactions that relate to them. What the software will do is it will analyze the date of the document, it will analyze the amounts that are on the document, and if it finds a matching transaction, it will prompt you to attach the document to those transactions. As an example, hopefully it's finished analyzing this BHP one here. I don't believe it has. It is still going through that process, so I'll give it just a little bit more time, as sometimes it can take some time to analyze large amounts of documents or documents that are generally bigger. There we go. So it's just finished with the Fisher and Paykel one dividend here. If we go to the transactions, you can see that it's extracted some data and would attempt to match it with a transaction with the net payments here being the AU amount, 17 now. Do apologize, I just closed out of the screen. We'll jump back in, and I'll just need to log in. Apologies about that. Jump quickly back to the screen, documents, and hopefully that will be analyzed for us. So currently hasn't been. You might need to guide the AI model on the way, as it's not perfect. So sometimes there may be situations where you need to manually select the model that it needs to use to analyze it. There we go, that's been completed. And if we go to the transactions, and I can remove the date range to demonstrate that it will search for a transaction within the date range that contains the same data. So it contains that same amount, and we could choose to attach that one if necessary, matching the gross payment. And if we jump back to our transaction list here, you can see that one of our transactions we've set up has the attachment icon, which is a BHP dividend. Clicking into this, you can see that that file has been connected. For the final part of this, we'll just quickly look at how this can be beneficial to you when it comes to your financial documents. There may be situations where you may be bringing in clients into your fund and you're hoping to get a lot of documents uploaded to Simple Invest. One of the best ways to do that is to upload the full report pack. As you can see, we have a big report pack here of 17 pages. If we wanted to split those, we can simply click Split Documents and then go through and analyze this. So as you can see, it's separated our first cover pages for pages 1 and 2. We can scroll further down. Statement of financial position is page 3, so we can rename that to Statement of Financial Position, maybe 2022 because this is the 2022 one. And then you'd scroll through, making sure the splits are correct. You can rename each of these as you go through. And as you finish, all you need to do is click Split Document at the bottom of this section here, which then will split them into all of those sections. Our document screen is going to fill up very quickly due to those splits. And as you can see, there we go. So when it comes to it, you're able to split all of your financial statements into individual documents. That way you can use them for various purposes, whether that is for auditing purposes, whether you need to use it for reconciliation, whether you need to use it to bring data into your fund, which can be used with various different documents that are available. That split document function can be incredibly useful for you. And that does bring us to the end of the session today. I would like to mention before heading off that we do have RegTech 2025 that has been recently announced. This is BGL's conference that runs through everything new to do with BGL, Simple Invest 360, as well as all of our other products. There's a number of speakers and it is entirely a free event. So if you would like to register for that one and attend, I'll put a link in the Zoom chat right now in case you would like to do that. In addition, there is a link in this actual slide. So when you receive those slides in the follow-up email, you could choose to select this and that will open up a page to BGL RegTech. There we go. So that BGL RegTech, you're able to click book tickets and go through. But that does bring us to the end of today's session. I'd like to thank you very much for your patience, and hopefully you got something out of today that you can bring into your day-to-day practice in Simple Invest. And I'd like to extend my gratitude to you for your patience throughout this entire week. Thank you for joining us for Simple Invest 360 Education Week. Once again, if you'd like to catch any of these recordings, they will be uploaded to the BGL YouTube channel for availability for future recordings and viewing at a later date. And in addition, all our attendees will receive that follow-up email. If you do need any help, or if you had any further questions, feel free to put those in the Q&A. I'll attempt to answer those as well as I possibly can. Otherwise, if you have any other questions, concerns, queries, or anything you need help with, you can always contact our support team by using the support calls function. We have our AMs that are available. There are many different ways you can get in contact with our team, and we can provide assistance and help you along the way. So thank you very much for your time. If you're leaving us, I'd like to thank you very much and hope you have a great Friday, rest of your day, and hopefully see you at another one of BGL's events. So thank you very much today, and goodbye for now.